in Israel, Part 10. Here we see Arab and Muslim countries in red. The tiny yellow sliver with an arrow pointing to it is Israel. The skilled IAF, Israeli Air Force, has been a great deterrent to aggression from the vast Islamic world, shown in red. And here we see Israel is the tiny speck of red in the middle of the Muslim world in green. The future Levant will be obtained and maintained with the help of the IAF, the Israeli Air Force, which was a key to the Israeli victory in 1967 and a key to holding back hostile Muslims from the vast area in green that engulfs the present-day tiny land area of Israel. Russia has backed Syria for years and began backing Iran since the fall of the Shah. Russia and Islam may also desire the new wealth of Israel, which may include minerals in the Dead Sea and perhaps future oil from a newly controlled Levant. In both maps, Islam grows inside of Russia. Here we see photos of some of the Israeli warplanes that have defended Israelis. This is a photo of a Russian plane dropping Russian paratroopers. It is shown on the site www.mil.ru. Could the addition of Russians to a future coalition of non-Arabic Islamic nations overwhelm the highly skilled Air Force of Israel? The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan started on December 27, 1979, under the cover of an ongoing Soviet military buildup. A Soviet airborne brigade was airlifted by commercial airlines into Kabul, Afghanistan, to violently overthrow the regime of President Amin. Within hours after the beginning of this Trojan horse-type operation, Soviet troops had overwhelmed the elite presidential guard, captured Amin, executed him and several members of his family for crimes against the people, and seized control of the capital. Here, the Russian paratroopers fill the sky like clouds. Here's one of the many Russian paratroopers who cover the land below them. This is the way the Russians initiated their invasion of Afghanistan. These are some of the tactics the Russians, Iranians, Turks, etc. will use on Israel. Within days, Soviet armored columns were fanning out across Afghanistan to occupy major population centers, air bases, and strategic lines of communication. No army could do anything like this until World War II. Arrows were the main assault by air in Ezekiel's time. December 2012, a Revolutionary Guards commander said his forces got their hands on a Scan Eagle, promising Tehran would mass produce it. Iranians trained to take the Temple Mount with a replica of the Dome of the Rock. Their intentions toward Israel, Jerusalem, and the Temple Mount are very obvious. In regards to the Scan Eagle, Tehran promised they would mass produce it. U.S. authorities at the time claimed that all of their drones were accounted for. However, here is one of the larger Predator-type drones. Iran media reported yesterday that a copy of the Scan Eagle drone was provided to Russia on the sidelines of a meeting in Tehran. The the Revolutionary Guard's military and industrial base commander, presented Viktor Bondarov, the head of the Russian Air Force, a copy of the Scan Eagle. Here's a photo of a U.S. drone being launched. Unfortunately, the Iranians have captured one or more U.S. drones, and it gets worse than that. 2016, Iran has given Russia a copy of a U.S. drone as proof that its elite forces have reverse-engineered and mass-produced the American unmanned aerial vehicle they claim to have captured a year ago. Here's a drone in flight after launching. The drone built by the Islamic Republic's Revolutionary Guards is a symbol of the technical capabilities of the Islamic Iran, and today we presented a real model of it as a gift to the Russian Air Force and the Russian people, Ismaili said after meeting with Bondarov, according to the semi-official Fars news agency. Russians and Iranians can make many drones to ascend and come like a storm and be like a cloud to cover the land, as Ezekiel writes. The crushed Arab neighbors could not do this. Flocks of armed drones were not used by Russians to initiate their invasion and occupation of Afghanistan. The image below is of a Russian drone. See the red star. No army could use a mass attack of drones until now. No ancient or modern army could ascend and come like a storm until now. Here are crude Hamas rockets. This is how the Israeli Iron Dome has stopped over 90% of Hamas rockets. You could pause the presentation and take a look at how this works. Israel Iron Dome interceptor missile in action. Damage in Israel from less than 10% of Hamas rockets. The Iron Beam is an air defense system in development by Israel. It is expected to enter service within the Israeli Defense Forces in 2015. The system is designed to destroy short-range rockets, artillery, and mortars with a range of up to 7 kilometers, too small for the Iron Dome system to intercept effectively. In addition, the system could also intercept unmanned aerial vehicles. The Iron Beam will use a directed high-energy laser beam. This shows that Israel is already beginning to react to the possibility of unmanned aerial vehicles being used against them. Russia, Iran, Turkey, Ethiopia, Libya, and their allies will ascend and come like a storm as they overpass the Israeli-controlled buffer zones in the Levant that have given the Israeli people great peace and prosperity. Why will Hashem allow this to happen? See why in what happens next in Israel, Part 11. For information and ways that you can help us to blow the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm, you may contact us, Hope of Israel, Hatikva Yisrael, by email at shlomo1335 gmail.com. Ask for Shlomo. I'm Yisrael Kai. You may like us on Facebook and comment on Twitter and Tumblr.